The horses are tired of the Switch rumors. I'm tired of the Switch rumors. This video is probably going to get 10,000 views, but it's important to talk about because Nintendo, for Christ's sake, if the rumors keep going round and round and round and you're not the ones putting them out, it's obvious people want a new console. It's time. The Tegra X1 was old when the Switch was originally released, and now it's ancient. Let's get into it. Giddy up now, you're so luscious.
Skip it up and that up.
So, I have been talking about Switch Pro, next-gen Switch rumors since the original, I swear to God, literally since the day the original Switch launched, almost. Close enough to that time, I'm not exaggerating. There have been rumors from the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, you name it, Bloomberg, that there would be a Switch Pro or next-gen Switch. And at the time when they first came out, the rumors were exciting because it's like, man, they don't even know if the Switch is going to be successful. It's had a good bump in the beginning, but it could flop. Now, obviously, it's not going to flop. It's on the trajectory to be Nintendo's best-selling home-ish console of all time. I know it's not fully a home console, but you get my point. And there have been rumors nonstop about either a next-gen Switch or a Switch Pro. It's going to be this powerful. It's not going to be this powerful. It's going to be powered by a horse. It's going to be powered by NVIDIA. It's going to be powered by Gabe Newell's nipples. It's going to be It's going to have a 4K screen. No one ever said that, but it's going to have a 1080p screen. It's going to have a screen that's being made by Sharp, and now it's going to be an OLED. The only thing we know so far that seems to be set in stone is that the next generation Switch is going to have deep learning super sampling, so it's going to have that AI to do awesome upscaling, which is going to be a big deal, especially when you're playing in docked mode on the big screen. And it's going to be about as powerful, which is actually impressive for a portable console, as a base PS4, which again, for something that you could take with you, is nice. Well, anyway, there's more rumors coming out about the Nintendo Switch. Bloomberg's actually being very bullish and saying that there's going to be a new Switch this year with an OLED screen. Let's read it and then we'll discuss. Nintendo plans to unveil a model of its Switch gaming console equipped with a bigger Samsung OLED display this year, hoping the larger touchscreen can prop up demand in time for the holidays. People familiar with the plan said. Samsung Display will start mass production of 7-inch 720p resolution OLED panels as early as June, with an initial monthly target of just under 1 million units, said the people, who asked not to be identified discussing internal matters. The displays are slated for shipment to assemblers around July, the people said. Representatives for Nintendo and Samsung Display declined to comment. Nintendo seeks to sustain a Switch lineup that continues to sell well against the Xbox and PlayStation, thanks to pandemic-era breakout hits like Animal Crossing and a chip crunch that's plagued the supply of rival devices. But the gadget is now into its 5th year, while Microsoft and Sony both have new and more powerful machines in the market. The release of a more premium version of Nintendo's Switch console with an OLED display and support for 4K graphics for the holiday 2021 selling season could drive the company's sales above consensus for the fiscal year ending March 2022 and extending the life cycle of the Switch platform for many more years. The OLED panel will consume less battery, offer higher contrast, and possibly faster response time when compared to the Switch's current liquid crystal display, said Yoshio Tamura, co-founder of display consultancy DSCC. So there's a couple interesting things here. If this is true, again, I used to say, it's coming from Bloomberg, it's coming from Wall Street Journal, there has to be some truth to it. You never know. Take it all with a grain of salt, but it's going to be a bigger display, but it's going to be the same resolution. However, it's going to be OLED, so you're going to get better contrast. It's going to have a cleaner look. It's going to have inky blacks, because when an OLED display shows black, they're all self-emitting. They're light-emitting diodes. So I think the key thing that's interesting here is that the display, supposedly, according to Bloomberg, is getting bigger, but the resolution is staying the same. So it's OLED, it's going to be a 7-inch display, but it's going to be 720p. And I'll explain why I'm okay with that. Now, what they're doing to cut down cost of OLED is, instead of going with a flexible OLED display, which a lot of your high-end cell phones use, they're going with a rigid OLED display. which the benefits to flexible, like when you have a high-end smartphone like an iPhone 12 Pro Max or the newest Samsung phone, is that they're more durable, where a rigid display is not as durable, but they're cheaper. And that's why Nintendo's going with the rigid OLED display. They cost less. They're a little bit more fragile, but they're less money, and that'll help them with their bottom line with each new Nintendo Switch they sell. And the thing that's nice, if they're not upgrading the resolution of this OLED display, they're going to keep it 720p, like that's the same resolution that's on the Switch's display now, is that even with this more powerful processor that they're going to have in there and the more powerful SoC that's going to have more graphical capabilities, it's just going to have to move around the same amount of pixels. So that's actually a good thing. It means when you're in portable mode, you'll get better refresh rates, you'll get better textures, you'll get better visuals, you'll get it won't, if say like they went with a 1080p display or a 1440p display, OLED display on this new Switch, one, it would be way more expensive, so Nintendo wouldn't do that. And two, the processor, the new NVIDIA SoC that's going to be in there would have to push around more pixels, and you wouldn't get it as good performance. And honestly, even at 7 inches, 720p just for gaming is fine. So I think that's good news. But is any of this true? For Christ's sake, I'm so tired of hearing about these rumors, but they're important to talk about. I don't know. But the bottom line is Nintendo is, with the industry like chomping at the bit, whether it be consumers or whether it be journalists, always talking about a new Nintendo Switch. Maybe you think it's time that people want some new tech. I mean, look, Doom Eternal, as much as I kind of ripped on it, Panic Button did the best they could with the limited hardware inside the Switch. They did the best they could with a now 6-year-old, 7-year-old Tegra X1 SoC. And if you want to see games like that keep coming over to the Switch, you got to upgrade the hardware. I know Nintendo's first-party titles are fantastic, but the Switch is the first console Nintendo has made in a long time. Let's still consider it a partially home console that has had third-party support. If they don't upgrade their hardware to keep getting those third-party ports from the PS5 and Series X, they'll lose that third-party support and lose a decent chunk of their consumers. There's a lot of people that love the fact that The Witcher 3 is on the Switch, or love that Doom and Doom Eternal is on the Switch, and love that Streets of Rage, which that could run on a potato, Streets of Rage 4, is on the Switch. You get my point. The Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, is on there. The list goes on and on and on, because they were able, because of the Tegra X1, to whittle it down and make it run. Now with these next-gen systems, I saw on Digital Foundry, they were interviewing people from Panic Button, and they were like, there's only like, and I think it was John Lederman that asked, can you put PS5 and Series X games on the Switch? And they were like, you just get to the point where you compress it and it just looks like soupy nothing. There's like only so much you could do. So it's time. Will Nintendo actually do it? Who knows? But they have to be getting, it's Bloomberg talking about it. There has to be some truth to it. But obvious things are obvious. Nintendo is going to make a more powerful Switch, but when they're going to drop it is the million-dollar question. Now, the other thing I have to say, too, is I'm concerned if this is just considered like a Switch Pro, and if games have to run on the base Switch and the Switch Pro, it's like a requirement, kind of like they did with the PS4 and PS4 Pro, will games still be held back? Will we still be able to get the third-party ports? Because if the games have to work on the base Switch and this new, more enhanced Switch, developers still won't be, they're like, yeah, we can't make it work on the base Switch, so we're just not going to bring it to the Switch at all. So many questions, so many things I want to know. I'm fine if it's an OLED that's 720p. It'll still look gorgeous. Yeah, okay, it's not going to be as sharp as your iPhone screen or your Note 20 Ultra screen or your new Galaxy S21, but it'll still look great. But time will tell. Maybe they're going to drop a bomb on us this year, a super surprise bomb, and we're going to have a new Nintendo Switch with a better screen that's more powerful. I'll still buy it. I just have concerns. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one. Hey, if you enjoy my content, consider becoming a Review Tech USA member. I'll have a link below in the description. I live stream now on this channel all the time, and it gives you access to cool emoticons to use as well while I live stream. Again, link below in the description. Thank you for your continued support.